I came to do what I do, and I mean, I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior, literally and figuratively. This is what I do. I fight for it, so why not?
All right. LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Got a special guest for y'all. Very thankful to have this young lady here. Linsey Wonder Woman Williams. Wonder Woman, how you doing today?
Oh, I am doing good. It is a beautiful day here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And yeah, this is my last day here before I head back to Minnesota, and then I'll come back and I'll be fighting down here in Bossier City in just under 2 weeks for LFA 23 on September 22nd.
Okay, so now you just kind of came. You kind of came to Louisiana to get used to the atmosphere down there.
Well, actually, this is my third time down here training with my buddy Andrea KGB Lee. So, yeah, I had been in Memphis. I was training there. Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu welcomed me in while I was actually staying there taking care of my sister's household and her dogs while she had military orders. So it just kind of happened that I'd already been training for 3 weeks, came here to help her out with her camp because she was planning on defending her title. I said, I'll come in and put in some work with you, be a body for you. And then got into town, found out they were looking to match up Sabina Mazo at a flyweight fight, and I said, I'll take it. I'm ready.
Throwback fighter. Okay. Yeah, yeah, because Sabina Mazo, she tough. I mean, she real tough.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just to take a fight like that on short notice, that's hey, I don't think there's a lot of fighters that do that nowadays,
Look, man, I came to do what I do, and when an opportunity presents itself, you don't say no to that, I mean, I'm a soldier, I'm a warrior, literally and figuratively. This is what I do. I fight for it, so why not?
As I was doing my research on you, how did you get the name Wonder Woman? I mean, you got to tell me.
It just stuck. I mean, I like to use my powers for good, I did the Army thing, and it just seems so American, and it alliterates, Wonder Woman Williams, and I like the idea of having that Wonder Woman. If you look at my Facebook or my Instagram, it's all Wonder Woman Will, because it's a thing that I am, and it's a thing that I have, and it's that warrior spirit, that Amazon spirit.
Wow, a warrior spirit. Okay, I mean, okay, I'm gonna have to agree with you right there, because watching as many fights as I can find on you, and just watching how you train, yeah, you're aggressive. You're extremely aggressive. Like, does being in the military help with that aggression?
I don't know that it necessarily helps, but it has shaped my mindset and who I am as a person now. Because I probably wouldn't be doing this had I never enlisted in the military. It all started with my Army career. So, I guess in that respect, it definitely has helped me and does help me. But then every time I go on military orders, whether it's 2 weeks in the Mojave Desert or 2 weeks in Lithuania or Norway or wherever it may be, it's an experience that changes you, and I let that change me for the better, especially as a fighter, since that's my chosen craft. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Okay. And I was just about to ask you, like, how did you, how does a person get started, just fighting? Because usually some people have circumstances, but you say the military just, so was it somebody there, like, who was encouraging you, like, hey, Linsey, I think you need to try, fight?
That's almost how it happened. So when I was getting ready for my first deployment over to Kuwait, some of the basics that you have to do in pre-deployment training is going over your Army combatives, and modern Army combatives program has a lot of jiu-jitsu and wrestling in its roots. And when we were going over the basics, that's the thing about the Minnesota National Guard has a very unique group of people when it comes to Army combatives. Several years ago, before I was even on the team, they were winning all Army tournaments, which is almost unheard of for a National Guard team to do. So these guys that were members of that team and helped coach that team, they saw what I was doing and they asked me about my grappling experience. And I said, well, I don't have any. And they were kind of surprised. They said, well, you're taking direction in real time and listening to us while you're on the mats. And that shows some real promise. So when you're back from your deployment, you should consider doing one of our in-state tournaments and trying out for our team. So that's exactly what I did. And actually, I was doing no-gi jiu-jitsu with a group while I was overseas. I started taking up boxing, and then I realized as I was coming back to being a civilian in Minnesota, this is something that I have to make a part of my life now. Because, I mean, for so many people, the transition from being deployed or being an active duty soldier and then becoming a civilian again, it is wacky. You know, it can really mess with you. And I think that was the one thing that remained constant in my life. And I think I'm the kind of person that needs a new goal every couple months. Otherwise, I'm just going stir crazy, you know? That 9 to 5 is not for me. 9 to 5 for 25 years, no thank you. So this just kind of worked out that I have a new goal every, few months, and I have something that I'm constantly working towards, and I'm constantly trying to become better. So, yeah, that's where it started.
Man, that's incredible. So, now, how do your folks, your parents, your mom, your dad, how do they feel about you fight?
Well, my mom would prefer I only grapple. She's not too fond of striking, but she understands that I'm a grown up and I gotta do what I gotta do. I actually, when I was 10, I asked her if I could start wrestling. I brought home a flyer from a little wrestling club, and she told me no, because I'd be the only girl. But now that she sees what women are doing and what they're capable of, and that I have an opportunity to shine as bright as one of these ladies, she's pretty into it. She's pretty supportive. So I definitely appreciate having her in my corner.
Okay. So now you got mom to buy in. That's a little bit of extra added support. Now, what about your coach right now? Like, how does he, how has he helped you, thus far? Because you're still young in your career.
Yeah, I am. And it's interesting. I mean, I would like to talk to him personally. I haven't been home in over a month. It's been about 5 weeks since I've been back. But I mean, my coach back home, Greg Nelson, he's a man that's been places and seen it all and done it all. And he's been involved with martial arts and mixed martial arts since the get-go. And he's the guy that is very, very helpful to those who want to learn and who want to stay engaged and who are committed to doing what they're doing. And that's been very helpful to me because he's just a plethora of knowledge that I can always, I can always come to him with an issue and he's going to have some sort of way to help me out. So he's been very supportive. But I've also been very fortunate. Like I said, I've been gone for over a month now to have other folks helping me out. The team at Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, they welcomed me with open arms, and I met so many great people that taught me so many things. And then I came over here to Louisiana. I'm training with Andrea Lee and her coach, Donnie Aaron. And he's been really good and just kind of understanding me on a more personal level and where I'm at. And I think here we've been kind of refining who I am as a fighter and redefining, that you mentioned how aggressive I am. Yeah, well now I can play smarter. I mean, the tactics are there, so now it's just about putting on that quality show.
Like, I watched you in a kickboxing match against Tara Walker, and I'm gonna tell you that first round you was doing everything like it was there, and then it was like, okay, your gas tank just like ran out, and I'm like, oh man, if she had about like maybe just 10 more minutes of gas, that fight would have been finished. Like you could tell, man. I was like, no, 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 please get up. Come on, come on. Cause I was like, come on, go. So I kind of get into the fights, but I was even shot like at so young in your career, like you was setting up shots. You was using a pretty good jab to get in on the inside, and then you start just letting your combinations go. Like, what? I guess what has changed now since that fight?
Well, that fight was interesting. I took it on a week's notice, and uh, now this was maybe my third amateur fight ever. I took it on a week's notice. It was in St. Louis. I drove myself down to St. Louis on weigh-in day. That's a 9-hour drive. I didn't have a corner. It was so short notice. I didn't know anybody that could go with me. So I knew somebody up in the Twin Cities who happened to have a connection down in the area. So I met up with people that I didn't know. And I was still an amateur as far as, like, all right, how should I warm up? When should I warm up? How warm do I need to be? I just freaking went after it. And this was my first fight back after my ACL reconstruction. So I'd done a couple grappling tournaments, and that was it. I basically hadn't trained for that fight at all. I just said, okay, let's go for it. So the fact that it came out a draw, I was like, all right, given having everything work against me, and she missed weight. So I think having everything work against me and still come to a draw, that I can look back and feel okay about that. But it was a huge learning experience because you're right. I totally depleted myself. That gas tank wasn't there, and I just didn't have a sense of all of it. Not to mention, I'm much more seasoned, in my training now. So, yeah, I think between then and now, I've really started to figure out, all right, I don't necessarily have to go strike for strike with who I'm up against. I can be a tactician now, and it's been cool seeing that develop.
Yeah, I was enjoying that fight. I even watched that fight twice because it's just the fact that you almost finished the fight. Like, and it was, I think if that first round could have been even 30 more seconds longer, definitely a KO. Wait a minute, we're having some jumping and down. Is your screen okay over there? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Hope it's not from my end. It's starting to fuzz out on me. All right. Okay. Well, that was a good fight. Now you went 5-0 in your first 5 fights.
I went 6 in my first 6.
Okay. See, I stand corrected. So, how did that feel? Going 6-0 in your first 6 fights. I don't know. What was going through your mind in the first fight when you first got in there? And you was like, okay, well, this is my first fight. Like, were you nervous? Were you like on edge?
I don't. My first MMA fight, I don't know that I felt too many things, and I think that's what I need to get back to. It's not necessarily feeling so many things, but making sure that my eyes are open and that my wits are about me, because I think what happened is, and I know that there's quite a few of my fights where I don't remember all the details very well, and I think it's just time for me to be more cerebral and be more present, because I would get ahead of myself. And I think it's time to. My brain has played catch up with my body.
Okay. All right. Now I watched your first bout. I watched your first bout against Gabby Romero, and she was a grappler. And you started out in grappling, but she immediately went to grab you because I guess it seemed like she was afraid of you striking her. So it's almost like you were a grappler, but I've noticed in your fights your striking has been like a good staple point of your fights. But what happened in the Gabby Ramiro fight that kind of caused you because it seemed like she got you and you wasn't expecting her to grab you. I don't know. Cause it was strange.
Yeah, I think that was her game plan, was to just run through the punches and grab me, because she did come to that fight. She didn't make weight. She came in 5 pounds heavy and offered me all of the money for that fight. Like, I got paid my money, her money, and the win money for that fight. So basically, it's like she had to buy that win and not make weight. She's been and having some success and some not success, but putting yourself out there at flyweight, and struggling. So I think she really wanted to make that a point to just make grips on me and drag me down, because she didn't have a clean, pretty takedown. It was literally, I'm going to hang on with all my weight and drag you down with all of my body weight, which there was a lot of body weight there. That's, it is what it is. I know what mistakes I made in the fight. I go back and I watch it and I'm like, why did I go this way instead of turning in and doing an underhook? But that's for me to look at. So I won't, hey, she did what she did to, further her career and get that game plan out there. Hey, do you, boo? But it's, I'll take that and I'll learn from it. So I'm not mad at it. It is what it is.
People don't really realize how missing weight, even by 3 pounds, is very, it can affect the fight. So 5 pounds, and then plus she would have to have a hydrated back. So she was already heavier than you, and she hydrated. So she came in not just 5 pounds heavier. I mean, she came in probably, maybe 10 to 15 pounds heavier. And that's a big deal, especially when you're grappling somebody. That it matters, So I was kind of like, man, because I was kind of wanting to see, like, what else you were going to do with it. Like, I was waiting on you, like, to throw some of the kicks that I was used to seeing you do, and then, like, really going, but, she just hung on to you. So I was like, God, man.
I think I was really kind of stuck in my feet on that one, and I feel like my movement and my motion is so much more solid, and keeping, the range that I want to keep, whether it be in close or whether it be farther. I think I've come a long way in a short period of time. I know that.
You sure have. And I'm going to tell you, the best fight, and I'm sorry, I watched this fight 3 times. I mean, I'm a pugilist, so I like pugilism. I like it. I watched you fight Jessica Fresh, and I'm going to tell you something. How on God's green earth did you get out of that armbar? And better yet, do you have like 5 and 6 joints in your elbow? Because I thought your arm was gone. I thought your arm was completely out of there.
Yeah, everyone did. It was just, she was so loose with it, and I don't know, sometimes I look back on it and think that might be why, like, my arm kind of gives me fits sometimes today, but there's a gym that I go to, and it's all females training with each other, and whenever we do arm bars, we're all lost in the sauce, because we all have goofy, Gumby arms. That's just something we do, and, I just knew that she didn't have it locked in, and she was struggling. The more she struggled, the looser it got. So it was just a matter of time at that point. So once I knew that she didn't have it locked in, that she didn't have good position, I was just game to keep fighting.
But you got out of that armbar, and you beat the living. I mean, like, you went in, and it's like you was on a mission, and then you just beat this woman until, like, she just couldn't do anymore. I was like, what? I said, this is a fight. This is a man. But I've never seen somebody arm like take that damage and then bam, you get right back up. Wow. I mean, that says a whole lot about you, though.
Well, hopefully nothing but good. Some people would call it real foolish, but I don't.
Nah, that's not foolish. That was. But, you actually taught a class on how to get out of an armbar, though. Like, it was, I was like, man, okay, so this is what you do. Like, because I saw you rotating your hips a lot, and then, I saw you actually get in position. And I'm like, when I saw you get, like, some kind of top position, and then you got back up, I was like, wow. I said, this girl's in trouble. I said, that girl's in trouble, and she was in trouble.
She blew her whole gas tank on that.
Wow.
So. All right, then that says a lot about, having the right skill set, because if I were going against someone who was higher level in jiu-jitsu, that armbar would have been on. And, like, I didn't do any classic hitchhiking or anything like that to get out of it, but what I did do worked, so chalk that up.
It was an amazing win, though. It was an amazing win. And, now, you're taking on another tough fighter. Like, it's 2 tough fighters back to back, but this one probably will make weight, But, can you explain to people, because some people have a thing with they don't understand how the weight works. I mean, how difficult is it?
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, well, it's interesting because for this fight, I'm actually jumping up and fighting at 125. Now, I don't normally fight at 125. All of my fights have been at strawweight, except for one catch weight at 120 pounds. The weight cut for me to 115 isn't awful. I mean, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I definitely don't walk around at that weight. But I think as far as explaining to people what it's like, I mean, it is a process. And I can't remember where I heard this or read this, but there's two ways to cut weight. You can do it the right way or you can do it the wrong way, or the dumb way, I think is how it's put. And yeah, some people aren't smart about how they lead up to it. The process of gaining mass and eating for strength early on in the camp, and maintaining, and then having to taper and get lean, and making sure you're hydrated. I mean, granted, most of these things are what you want to do all the time when you're training anyway. So it takes a lot of discipline, and a lot of you want to educate yourself with what you're doing for sure. And it takes a while to understand your body, because if you look, even last night, Macy Barber, she was supposed to weigh in as a strawweight, and I know she has before, but she came in 8 pounds heavy. And Andy Dern is another girl who's come in, 4, 5, 6 pounds heavy for strawweight fights. And these are females who are not bigger than me. Well, Andy's bigger than me, but sure, these are women who should be able to make the 115-pound weight class. So it's a matter of discipline. It's a matter of doing the right things, and it is a process. It takes, a few weeks, and that few weeks, maybe you have to do it a few times before you really understand. Maybe you got to take your off season and do a test cut. That's part of being a professional.
Amen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you should make weight, because it's not fair to the other person that you have an advantage, because those pounds matter. They do. Okay, so I think we need to contact SureDog though, because it's a little disrespectful. They need to put your picture up there. Yeah, I'm researching. I'm like, wait a minute, where's her photograph? Now, come on, now stop. SureDog. I hope y'all listen.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be on that shit soon. I'm telling you. Ooh, can I cuss? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I wanna. Throwing out that bad language. Has been in camp mode all this time. I'm tired now.
I mean, I can imagine how a fight like this will wear on you, But
yeah,
I just like the fights. I like the style of fighting. I like how you come out and you don't take no mess. You just go out there. You try to finish the fight, and all of your fights, you never try to leave it up to the judges. You try to take it out the judges' hands and get that finish.
Yeah.
But okay, well, I think that's all the questions I wanted to ask. But I kind of wanted to do something now to, because I done asked all the questions I think that I can answer. But I'm gonna give you a choice. All right, we can play one game. We can play Name That Boxer, where you gotta tell me the location of 5 boxers. I tell you the boxer's name, and then you tell me where they live at. Or we can play Word to Mind. And Word to Mind is when I say a word, you got to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. And you got to do it in 1 second.
Okay, let's play Word to Mind.
Okay, great. Okay, all right, let's start. Dana White.
UFC.
Okay. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Boxing.
Okay. Apple pie.
Delicious.
Okay. Head kick.
Knockout.
Alright. Body.
Punch. I was just working those. You had the body shield on.
You're good. Alright. Last one. The square root of 255.
I have no idea.
Okay, alright. That's it. I'm just trying to have some fun with you, but
Absolutely.
But I definitely thank you for for doing the interview. Is there anything else that you want to say, that you want to thank some people?
Man, Okay, so firstly, make sure you tune in to Access TV on Friday, September 2nd. Catch me in action. Catch Andrea KGB Lee in action. Catch Kendrick Williams in action. Catch Derek Krantz in action. It's going to be a stacked night of fights. It's going to be amazing. If you miss Krantz versus Nakashima, you are doing yourself a disservice as an MMA fan. Beyond that, I want to thank all my teammates back home at the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. I want to thank all the people who welcomed me at Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu. I want to thank Coach Raheem Shabazz for helping me out so much while I was in Memphis. Oh my gosh, he pushed me to the limit, and it was great. I want to thank all the folks down here at Karate Mafia for making this my home for 2 weeks. Thank you to the folks at Legacy for the big opportunity. And yeah, just stay tuned, everybody.
Okay. And everything that you said is going to be posted across the screen, all your social media accounts where people can follow you at. It's going to be up there for the duration of the video. The information on the fight is going to stream across the video. So basically, people are going to be having all that information for the whole video. And I do have one last question. I'm sorry. So how did you feel when you first got your Legacy? Like when Legacy said, "Listen, we want to sign you." Like what was going through your mind? And I'm sorry, man.
No, that's fine. It was kind of half of my amateur career was with the RFA. So and they come they were going to continue to come locally to Minnesota. So it just made sense to put me on that pro card. And so I'm still doing single fight deals with them for now. But it just made all the sense that I was already, fighting for half of what was then to become LFA. And yeah, I think we're in for a good one now, especially now that they're signing more strawweights, and I feel like there's more competition for me to compete against now. So I'm looking forward to it.
So now, when you feel like your time in the LFA is concluded, now are you gonna try to make the jump to the UFC, or are you gonna go to Invicta?
Oh, we're gonna go from the LFA. We'll keep fighting here, and it's gonna be to the UFC for sure. I mean, nothing against Invicta. If an opportunity presented itself, I'd jump in there in a heartbeat, absolutely. But right now, it just, one thing at a time. And right now, it's this fight for LFA, and hopefully more fights for LFA, and we'll see where we go from there.
Okay, and I'm gonna let you go. God, you know what? It's that things are coming to my brain. I'm like, okay, crap. So, how do you think the fight gonna play out?
This fight against Mazo?
Against Sabina Mazo.
I think she's gonna. I think I'm just gonna. Here's the thing. I'm stronger than this girl. I'm more athletic than this girl. And I think she's not gonna think that until we're in there. And after a few strikes, maybe she's gonna miss or wing a few, take a few shots. She'll get real disheartened. And it's going to be my game. So it's for me to come out. Look, she's young. They're building her up. They want her to be somebody. That's fine. I said this about Macy Barber on Twitter. So she can be the future, but I'm going to be the right now. She came in 8 pounds overweight. Come on now. Don't talk about being a professional when you can't handle it. All right? I'm not a 19, 20-year-old girl, okay? So I got that old woman strength. So watch out, ladies. You gotta work hard. You gotta work hard. I've been putting in the work, and I'm gonna show everybody how hard I've been working.
Well, you're definitely not old. I mean, we're just gonna get that on out the way. You're definitely not old because you're doing your thing. I mean, you really are. And I can see. I mean, just really since yesterday, and I've seen you fight one other time because I was like, wait a minute, Sabina Mazo was fighting Linsey Williams. I've seen that name before. But then when I spoke with you yesterday, I just started looking at like old videos, everything, like things of you just training, and I'm like, man, like even you're outside racing a dog, I'm like, man, this woman does it all, and it's crazy because you got so many different like strange like training things that's working for you, So I mean, as a fan of the sport, I can appreciate it, and somebody who just they at the craft, and I can see the passion in you when you step into the octagon when you're in training. I mean, I can feel that like you're doing everything that your body is going to allow you to do. So I'm thankful that I get to even share this internet space with you right now. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, man. It's awesome to be able to share my story and talk to other people who just support the art, man. And that's what it's about. Our community wouldn't exist without the people who contribute to it. So thank you for doing what you do.
Hey, it's no problem. And one last thing, and we're about to break it off.
Okay.
All right. Could you say this is Linsey Williams, and you're watching Coach Shelton Harrison? That's it.
This is Linsey Williams, and you're watching Coach Sheldon Harrison.
Oh man.
I'm a broadcaster by trade. The Army taught me how to do that. Yeah, so.
Really? Well, hey, you know what? You're the fifth athlete to actually say my name wrong, but I get a kick out of it because
I knew I said it wrong as soon as I did that too.
Yeah, but I get a kick out of it because it's kind of funny, because when people say my name Shelton, it's always the D. So I've taken the D, so I'm good with that.
I'll redo it. That's fine.
You can say it. I mean, it's okay. But nah, you know what? I want you to put the Wonder Woman in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I want the Wonder Woman.
Okay. All right. This is Linsey Wonder Woman Williams, and you're watching Coach Shelton Harrison.
Amen. All right.